Hello, viewers. I'm the Rambling Historian, and this is the start of a new series. America, as you know, has cities, and those cities have history. In this new series, I'll be covering 2 or 3 of the most important and historically interesting cities in each state. I will be going by alphabetical order by state, which means that the first 2 episodes will be on cities in Alabama. The 2 states that I've chosen are Birmingham and Mobile. Sorry, Huntsville, Montgomery, and Selma. You almost made the cut. So, in this first episode, I will be talking about Birmingham. Birmingham is located in central Alabama. Unlike other cities in the state, such as Montgomery or Huntsville, Birmingham is not near any major rivers, which is strange for a large U.S. city. Here is the flag and the seal. Nothing too special here. Birmingham is a relatively young city. The city was founded by the Elyton Land Company on the 1st of June, 1871. The area was unsettled, and the only thing of note were deposits of iron, coal, and limestone. There was also the crossing of the Alabama and Chattanooga Railroad and the South and North Alabama Railroad. The good thing about these deposits was that they were required in the production of steel, and thus it was good to have them all in the same place. The planners of the city wanted it to be a major hub in the South. As a result, it was named after the industrial city of Birmingham in Britain. At first, there was only a trading post and a country store as businesses in the city. In 1873, there was a cholera outbreak and the stock market downturn, which meant the industry was very slow to move in. After things recovered, the city began to boom. The Tennessee Coal and Iron Company had most of their operations in Birmingham, and in 1892, it became the largest in the South. That company would be bought by U.S. Steel in 1907. In those years, industry grew explosively from U.S. Steel and other companies. In 1910, several towns nearby became part of Birmingham, and there was a population boom. Birmingham gained the nickname Magic City because of how fast it grew. The downtown became a major residential and commercial hub, and medium and high-rise buildings began to go up across the city. Streetcar lines connected the city, and the Woodward, Brown Marks, Empire, America Trust, and Savings Banks building all went up in an area called the heaviest corner on Earth. These 4 buildings were the tallest in the South. African Americans migrated into Birmingham from rural areas of the South and took many of the low-paying industry jobs. When the Great Depression struck, Birmingham was hit extremely hard. As jobs went away and industry closed, thousands came into the city in search of work which had gone away. Large shantytowns appeared throughout the city. In 1934, President Franklin D. Roosevelt called Birmingham the worst-hit town in the country. Roosevelt's New Deal created lots of new jobs in the city, as well as improving infrastructure, natural areas, and the arts. The Second World War created a huge demand for steel, and Birmingham had another economic boom. In the 1950s and 60s, Birmingham became famous for being a center of the civil rights movement. Birmingham was also sadly famous for the number of bombings carried out by the KKK in the city, giving it the nickname Bombingham. The civil rights movement in the city was led by Fred Shuttleworth, who was well known for being fearless in the face of threats like bombings. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference came to Birmingham on Shuttleworth's request to protest segregation in the city in 1963. Project Confrontation was launched, which led to a massive peaceful protests against segregation. Sit-ins and mass marches occurred across the city. The police responded with force, attack dogs, and tear gas. 3,000 protesters were arrested, King among them. MLK wrote his famous Letter from Birmingham Jail while imprisoned. Negotiations began to be made in September to desegregate commercial property. In that same month, a bomb exploded in the 16th Baptist Church, killing 4 African American children. These protests would lead to the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Birmingham continues to play a part in ending racism. In 1998, James Roch created the Birmingham Pledge, which was a commitment to end prejudice in communities and has been used in anti-racism laws in every state in some form. In 2020, like in all cities, there were large Black Lives Matter protests in Birmingham, and Confederate monuments were removed from the city. The University of Alabama Birmingham had a large amount of growth in the 1970s thanks to urban renewal efforts, which made Birmingham a center for medical research. Large theaters and arenas were built for the city's 1971 centennial, which improved the downtown. Banking grew in the city, and new skyscrapers were built for the first time since the 1920s, and this new banking industry diversified the economy. The population growth began to slow, and the city became increasingly suburbanized. In 1979, Birmingham elected Dr. Richard Arrington, Jr., who became the city's first African-American mayor. The city's white population decreased as industry closed. The downtown was reconstructed and became a large mixed-use zoning area. Restaurants and commercial opportunities had expanded, and there is a large demand for loft apartments downtown. The city is well known now for its neighborhood, which have received awards by city planning organizations, cuisine, and its history of civil rights. I hope you enjoyed this video.